What's up, people? Welcome back. This is day 7 of this challenge. Today, we're talking about why your spice brand name is more important than you think. All right, stay tuned. So, your spice brand is not just a name, it's literally your first sales pitch. So, if your name does not evoke spices, seasonings, tasty flavor, then you have to now work 10 times harder to sell that product. So if your spice brand name is weak, you are already at a disadvantage. All right. When people see your name, automatically they are going to know if they're willing to give your spice brand a try or not. Right? Think about it. So before you just slap on a name on there, make sure that name makes sense with what it is that you're doing. All right. For your spice brand, it sets the foundation, it sets everything in motion. It allows people to, one, think, is this fun? Is this a premium line? Is this something I can trust? Right? These are the things that you need to think about, because at the end of the day, before they taste it, before they get to smell it, before they use it, that's what you have to be able to convince them to either, one, this is a product that they want to try, or two, this is something that they want to stay away from. So which one will it be? I'm sure it's going to be the one that you want them to try, right? Like, for instance, let's go with Eddie's seasoning versus Flavor Boom. Automatically, you hear the two of them, you know they're about flavor, they're about seasonings, but one lets you know automatically that hopefully the flavor is going to be amazing, it's going to be extravagant because it's Flavor Boom, versus Eddie's seasoning. It's like, okay, Eddie's has seasonings, no big deal. We don't know if they're good, we don't know if they're not, but this is just the perception that you give based on just a name alone. And mind you, Flavor Bomb could be really good or it could be really bad, you won't know, but based on the name, you're already giving it an A because it's like Flavor Bomb, right? Versus Eddie's seasoning, which might also be really amazing, but just based on the fact that it says Eddie's seasoning, you could interpret it as nothing major. You know, it's a simple thing. It might be just his grandmother's seasonings that he's doing. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? So perception is a big thing, and based off of the name that you choose, you can either sell your product faster or give people more thought and then have them be indecisive about if they're gonna try that seasoning or not. You want to be careful because weak names kill perceived value, right? If your name sounds or makes it too confusing, or your seasoning brand name is too hard to pronounce or hard to remember, automatically people are going to associate that with, it might be cheap, it might not be good. You know, it brings a lot of negative emotion and value towards it, right? So this is why I'm letting you know, and you really need to think about it. You have to pick the right name. All right. And if you need to run it by a few people, you know, do a poll, do something to figure out what that's going to be. And you might not want to go public with that name automatically, but you need to figure out a way to stress test that name before you just go permanent with that name. All right. The other thing people don't think about when they're launching a product, when you're about to launch your product, is that you want to be able to own the name that you add to your product. So if you decide to go with Joe's Flavor Bomb, right, or Joe's Seasonings, you want to make sure that you can own that domain. And you know, this is something we're going to touch on later on, but don't fall in love with a name that you can't own the domain rights to, because when time comes for us to talk about website and marketing and all of that good stuff, you need to be able to buy the domain so that you can park that website. So let's say your brand is Magic Mike's Seasonings, right? I'm in Vegas, so you know, right? And your name is Magic Mike's Seasonings, and you know, you love this name, everybody loves this name, and you start creating a website and all of this stuff, but then when you go and you type in Magic Mike's Seasoning, somebody already has that, somebody already has a website like that, then you can't use that name, because now you have to go into a legal battle with this person and prove that you were using it before them, and this whole legal situation that you don't want to deal with. So I say, first things first, search after you come up with a name, go on GoDaddy and see if this name has been bought already. If it's not, you scoop it up really quick and then you continue along the process of going forward, right? But that's only if you love the name, all right? So that's just something to think about later on. Back to a regular scheduled program. Another thing people don't realize is that your name affects everything downstream, right? From your website to your branding to your logo, right? I mean, there's so many things that once you pick a name is synonymous with that brand that you really have to think about. And then you don't want to pick something that's too long, because if it's too long, then you have to fight with fitting that into your brand. You have to fight with, people trying to remember that so they can go to the website. So think about all of these things when you're picking a name, so that it's very, at the end of the day, a fourth grader should be able to remember it and say it, right? Once you have those two things, you're in a good place. At the end of the day, your brand spice, your line, your seasoning, your name is either one opening doors for you very quickly or easily, or forcing you to fight for every single sale because it's so confusing, people can't remember it, etc., etc. A great product with a great name scales, soars, you're winning, right? A great product with a bad name struggles, all right? So pay attention to the two, all right? Make sure that you're aligned perfectly. All right, so for my fellow spice connoisseurs, my fellow spice merchants, if you're building a brand, your name is everything, all right? So make sure that you really focus on what that is, because your brand name is first impression. And that first impression in this business is everything, all right? So pick the right name. So I have a question for you. If I took the label off of your spice packet, your pouch, your jar, your bottle, your jug, would your name still make me want to buy it? Think about it, all right? If I took, or someone took the label off of your packaging, based on the name alone that is your spice brand, will people still want to buy it? If you can answer yes to that question, then you're in the right place. So, once again, my name is Ed Harris. I consult. I help people grow their brands. I help restaurants and owners package products. I help people realize their potential in terms of launching a product, whether it's digital or physical, all right? And this is in the hospitality restaurant space. So if you need help, please send me a message. I will be more than happy to assist you. This is what I do, and I love it.